Hey everybody, tonight we're going to be talking about the Lucky BALLAD 3-level mechanical fan slider by KIAS EDC. Got this off AliExpress, got it from the Tiger H EDC store, and it's also available at INS Works. We'll talk about that and pricing in a little bit. I'm pretty happy with it. It is a little bit on the heavy side, so we'll be doing lots of comparisons here. Should be an interesting segment, so please stick around. Okay, so this is a 3-level stainless steel slider with 2 different little dovetail inserts you see here. They're curved. I have another one like that I'm going to show you shortly. I think that's probably Durlin. It doesn't feel soft enough to be Teflon. And there's a row of detents you see here. That's what I'm using. I have this set up differently than what it was when it was sent to me by the manufacturer. So this is sort of a little bit backwards from my usual videos. I have it set up, tuned to what I think is the ideal condition for me and probably for most of you, rather than show you what it was like out of the box. But when we're done, I'm going to put this back together the way that it arrived to me, and then you can decide for yourself whether you want to take it apart and make it a little bit better, actually a lot better. Well, it all depends on what your preferences are, because what I didn't tell you yet is that there's a row, not a row, a circle of detents on the inside here on both sides, and the option to put in 4 different springs on both sides. So there's like an infinite number of modification combinations you can make, but there's only a few that would really make good common sense, and I'll talk about those too. So this might be a little bit longer than normal. I'll try to keep it short. We'll just take it as it comes. So yeah, let's talk about pricing real quick. Like I said, I bought mine at Tiger H EDC. I bought a few things there. I haven't had any problems. Their stainless steel version is, well, the stainless steel version like this, which has the blasted finish, is $136, and the black version, for whatever reason, is a little bit more. It's $150. But INS Works charges significantly more. For the stainless steel silver that I have, $163. For the black one, they went $185. Quite a difference there. So it's always pays to shop around. Sometimes INS Works has the best deal. Sometimes it's somewhere else. So look around. Before we move any further along, let's go ahead and talk about what was in the box. Let me get this to a place where it's not going to be too reflective. See, I've got lights coming down from both directions, and you'll see it gets kind of bright when it's over here, but I think that's a good spot right there. It came in a box like this, which caught my eye because that is my particular favorite box, or a version of it. This is my my EDC carry box. These come from this comes from Rovivon, and they can be found for about $10 or $12 on AliExpress. They're sealed, 3 levels of foam. I put the thin layer up here, a thin layer down here. This one's taped. This one's not, and this one is actually cellular structured. You can pull those out to make something fit in here if you want to. I love this thing. I can always put like six pieces in there when I go camping and stuff. This is I want to say a knockoff. Here's how you can tell. Basically, it's a little bit better finish, but the hinge on this one goes all the way across the back. This one here only has it here and here, and the pin was coming out of one of those. It doesn't quite feel as good a quality as that other box, but I'm still quite happy. The amount of stuff that came with this was pretty stunning. We've got ceramic black and white balls. We have POM balls. These are all 3 millimeter. And then we have 3 different strengths of springs. Now the labeling is a little messed up, but I measured them all and I know what they are. Tiger H EDC always sends one of these sort of lapel pins, magnetic lapel pin. That is their little insignia. And in a separate little package came A nice pair of plastic tweezers and 4 replacement screws, and I guess we're getting a little out of frame. That doesn't matter, does it? A metal screwdriver, and this is probably metric Allen wrench. I found that a Torx bit that'll fit, so I'll just put this back away. But that's quite a bit of stuff in a decent box, which might be a knockoff of this one, and they are perfectly interchangeable in the same size dimensionally. Anyhow, we've got all this stuff to play with. Okay, well, before we get to the fun part of disassembly, let's get through some comparisons and measurements and stuff. Let's do comparisons first. So, like I said, this was heavy, but we'll start with the 2 that most people have, and that would be the Metal Toys DZ Top B slider, ZZ insert, very small. This is the heaviest piece I have, and one of the thickest. Okay, Mackie CP3 is another popular one. Maybe if I did that too. All right, now for weight, these aren't really relative in size or shape, but for weight comparisons, if you're wondering how heavy this is, well, let's do that at the same time. You know what I have to do? I brought this with me. This is just a little plastic empty box so that I can get some separation between the scale and the magnets. Actually, this has no magnets, but some of the ones we're going to weigh have magnets. So this weighs about 135 grams. Let's put this up here. I don't know if any of you will have one of these. These were just, I don't know, I missed a lot of them. This was one of the few that were left, and now that you can't find them anymore. But just a magnetic ball slider that was sold on AliExpress. Happens to be really well made and with really strong magnets. But it's all stainless steel, and it comes in at the next heaviest, and that would be 126 grams. Right behind that is one that a lot of people might have. I forget what this is called. I'll put the title up here. This is the, I want to say it's a shield, something, battle shield of some sort. Oh, no, it's the RAM part. Okay, I remember now. Well, we're not reviewing this one, we're weighing it. This is stainless steel as well. About 122. And then next in line would be the Dom EDC piano in all stainless. 110. And finally, something that's pretty recent that a fair number of you have, the JUZH EDC pop-up loud bugger. 108. Basically, these are the ones that I have that are just over 100 grams. Everything else is just under. And that is pretty heavy, I think. Let's get this thing measured. So this distance is approximately 47 millimeters. This distance is approximately 45. Fully opened. Now, this is the maximum opening distance it can be with one ball located in these tracks on each side. If you add balls, you shorten the distance of the travel. So this is the maximum distance. And we are at about 61 millimeters. I don't think this changes. It wouldn't change. Of course it wouldn't. 45. What else can I tell you about it? Each part is about 5 millimeters thick. 5 millimeters. This side would be the same. So the whole thing should be around a little over 15 or 15 right on the nose. Okay. So while we're comparing things, I do have 2 other pieces from KIAS EDC. This is a 2-level candy. I don't know, it's an early version. I think there's 2 versions of this now. Captured ball slider, not a captured ball slider, magnetic ball slider. And this is a captured magnetic ball slider, but 3 levels. And they go slightly different, less direction in the, well, this one goes however far you want it to go, depending on how many balls you put in it. But again, we're not reviewing these, I just wanted to show those off. These are KIAS EDC products. Both of them seem made pretty well. This one was used, so it's looking pretty rough. This one was new, really good quality. Really good quality in this, all around, as far as I could see. What it really reminded me of was the Cashew by Gal Studio. This is 6 clicks, and this is 6 clicks for each level. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, the other side's the same. You'll just have to take my word for it. And another that is similar would be the Gal Studio, oh boy, the Rice Ball Rocker, I want to say. Now this is magnetic and has those balls in it that they ride on through these tracks. This one is underrated and hardly ever talked about. But this and this are 2 reasons that attracted me to this. And I know there's another one out there right now, and I'd classify this as a fan style, because there's a few like this that have been made with magnets. I can't remember who made them, but same idea with magnets. Not the same shape, but this isn't a copy of anything. But there's also a new mechanical fan out there, and it's made by the same company as the 3-level slider that I just reviewed. Darn it, I'll put the name of it up here. DJG. Maybe I won't have to put those names up after all. My memory's just a little bit behind this evening. DJG. So you can use it like this, where these exclamation points are on this side, or you can flip it over and they're on this side. This side has a little phrase. This, I believe, is the front, and I'll get a little closer so you can read it. It says KIAS-Lucky Ballad, and the other side says enjoy it all the time. Well, I'll do my best. But I did find that I would imagine this is the top surface, because that has the KIAS-Lucky Ballad, the name of it. A little less important than their statement back here. And it seems to work loud a little bit better because of these things. It's easy. Notice how I'm holding it here. I'm sort of tucking it into that area right there. I haven't found a better way to hold this myself yet. Now, I've only had it for 2 days, but I was eager to tell you guys about it. So let me know if you have a different way to hold it. But I found out that I like to do this, and then if I utilize these exclamation points as a grip point, and there happen to be 3 more on the exact opposite side, I can sort of use both. Then that helps me do, let me get back into position here. So I would normally just be going back and forth like this. But if I want to swing it in the other direction, I can sort of pinch those 2 points and do that. Now you sort of have to reposition yourself to get it back up. It's too much of a stretch to reopen it the whole way. So if you're going to bring it back, I've noticed you sort of have to maybe reposition. Sometimes I can get it. Let's see, it didn't open the whole way there. And I'll tell you another thing. A friend at work, one of the engineers, he noticed it right away too. The weight is very noticeable on this. My hand's getting tired, my forearm's getting tired, just trying to show you this. But yeah, I can never quite get it to open up the whole way. But I really like it. I really like it. When we're going to take it apart here next, we'll discuss what happens when you put in the other 4 balls and springs down here on the inside, which you haven't seen yet. I told you there's a circular pattern of detents, and right now I don't have any springs or balls installed. We're just experiencing what's going on up here. So that changes things, and as we take it apart, I'll get into those details. Okay, now the fun part. I'm using a T6. These aren't T6 bits, they're Allen head screws. I also think they're metric Allen because the ones I have don't fit, but a T6 Torx will fit in there a little loosely. You just want to remove one screw first, slide this over to the other side. I'll just push this bottom part back so that I don't confuse you. We're working on this side, not this side. Okay, now what I do is slide everything back together again. I'm pinching it together. This part's loose. This part will come out completely. But I'm pinching it together until I can flip it over and sit it down. And then you're safe to just lift off this top piece. And here you'll see again, this is, let me do it over my hand since it's dark. This slides all the way out if you want it to. So here we have, I think last time it was a little hard to see if I didn't get a little closer, what I believe to be a Durlin middle dovetail insert, and then these 3 balls travel in these 3 tracks, and that's your pivot point. There is no axle of any kind. These 3 balls are what keep everything in line when it's rotating, which is kind of neat. These 4 holes here are for 4 springs and 4 balls, and that lines up with these detents right here. This is the main spring and ball. Whoops. And then this ball up here determines, it's your limiting mechanism. It determines how far it swings open each time. And I'm going to tell you real quick right now, without going into lots of detail, you have 2 options here. You can use 1 ball, because I've tried all of them. You can use 1 ball, and if you're not using any of these springs, keep that in mind. If you're just setting it up the way I have it now, use 1 ball, you'll get 6 clicks in one direction, 6 clicks in the other direction. If you put in 4 balls here, then you'll get 4 clicks in one direction, 4 clicks in the other direction, which may be a little bit easier for you and myself for doing those backward swings, because it would be a little bit less travel. Okay, now I'll give you a closer look at this. The reason I'm not using the 4 springs and 4 balls with this is because I've tried it and I really don't like it. We're going to demonstrate it here just quickly so I can show you what it's like. It makes things mushy. I'm interested in these clicks. These clicks here aren't quite spaced out correctly, in my opinion, with how these are spaced out. I don't know how you would do that. I imagine if you had a good CAD modeling system, you could figure out something to get it a little bit better. But these clicks down here don't seem to have any real relation, rhythm-wise, to what's going on up here. Up here, if you just use these ones, you're getting single clicks, a nice rhythm. The moment you throw in those 4 balls down here, it just becomes kind of a mushy mess of lots of clicks and stuff. But that's all I have to say. I've tried it with 1 ball, I've tried it with 2 balls, I've tried it with 1 ball in each location, I've tried it with 2 balls this way, 2 balls this way, 2 balls this way, 2 balls, and then all 4. It doesn't matter what you do, it just doesn't sound good to me. I'm not going to recreate that for you here until the very end when we put it all back together again. Okay, so let's just demonstrate a few things real quick here. We'll only work on this side because both sides are identical. No point in doing everything twice. I'm going to go ahead and put in 4 balls here so that I can show you the difference in travel. Close that back up. And we don't even have to screw this all the way back together again for me to demonstrate for you. Just drop that back down on top of the other pieces, hold it together by pushing down on it, and then you can test it for yourself. Now keep in mind this top piece, I shouldn't have done that. This piece is still set up for 6 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That has 1 ball in this track. The bottom piece is now 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you could set up both sides. You could set them both up differently if you wanted to. I don't know why you would, but you can set these up the same, and then you'll have 4 clicks and 4 clicks instead of 6 and 6. The travel distance would become something like that instead of something like even further open than that. Fewer numbers of clicks, but less travel distance. So that's the issue there. We'll take these back out. Whoop. Well, that was easy. Real easy. Okay. All right, now let's move on to seeing what happens when we put some balls down here, and then we're basically on the way back to putting it back together again and the end of the show. And then later I will put it back together in the orientation it was when we started this little demonstration, because that is how I prefer it. But I'm now going to put it back together to show you how it arrived at my doorstep. My tweezers are slightly magnetic. Actually, these springs are already magnetized. See? Get in there. Okay. Now I need 4 more balls. I haven't tried the white ceramic ones yet. I've only tried the black ceramic balls. I honestly don't find much of a difference between the two in other fidgets. So we'll put 1 there, there, 1 there, 1 there. Keep in mind these white balls that you see here are not white ceramic. These are the POM balls, the plastic balls. And I need 1 more of those, because when this came to me, this is exactly how it was set up. You have to have these 3 balls in place because it won't pivot properly without them. These 4 balls were in place with springs, and this ball was in place with a spring. And they were all using, like I said, I won't try to explain what the difference was between each of these, but basically you had a soft, medium, and hard, and what it was set up with were the medium springs, and that's what you get most replacement parts of. So I'm sticking with medium. I tried the hard springs and it got a little bit too tight, as in, if you're familiar with how some of these detent mechanical sliders work, if the ball and spring pressure is too much when you're rotating it, sometimes it likes to skip several detents at a time, just because it's too much. It takes too much effort to push it this way, and when you do it, it skips a few little detents. So here we go. This is how it was put up. Now I'm only going to do this side. I don't think we need to do both sides. If we do, I will pause it. Now, putting it back together, you just flip it over, keep squeezing it together here and here, and then slide this out of the way just enough so that you can get that little black, see this black plastic piece is floating in there freely until we screw it in place. So it has to be lined up so that this hole is lined up with, yeah, that hole. So we're there, basically. Let's put the screw back in. When you tighten it down, I can feel that it is tightening against the plastic. So I'm just snugging it very lightly. That should keep everything in place. Now that that screws in, you don't have to hold it anymore or squeeze it anymore. It'll hold itself together. Put this one back in. Okay, now this is the side we just worked on. I'm going to hold the bottom two pieces together. So remember, it used to be 6 clicks. Now it's like 5 clicks, 5.5 kind of. Start at the beginning again here. 1, 2, 3, grumbly, grumbly. It's a mess, in my opinion. I don't like it. If you want, it's too random for me. I can't find a rhythm in there. However, I may try it again and love it. I don't know. It's a little early in the game to make a decision on that. You know, what else I didn't point out is this chamfer, not a chamfer, it's kind of a reverse radius. Kind of helps you to guide you to where to put your fingers. You want to kind of keep them up at this point, above this point, because down here, if your finger, right now my finger stays up here at the top, but my thumb could push it from down here. The problem is when you do that, you'll find out that this plastic has a bit of a sharp edge right there, and you still may hit it. If you keep your finger, your thumb, I use my thumb against this part here, you keep it out here close to the edge, then you never encounter this plastic. So that's kind of a guide. And you know, I think that's what it sounds like now after everything we did. Here's the other side. I think that is so much better than that crunchy mess. But that's my opinion. You may love it. I'm not going to go ahead and do that to the other side. I think I got my point across. That's it. I can say, you know, enjoy it all the time. And the other thing I wanted to mention before we go here is that it is sort of unfortunate it's only available in stainless steel right now. This would be so much better in titanium or PEI or something lighter. Just to give you an idea, I looked up stainless steel and Thai, the differences in weights. This was 135 grams, and titanium is supposed to be 45% the weight of stainless steel. So I'm no mathematician here, but that should work out to, if this was titanium, it would weigh less than half of 135 grams, and it would weigh around 61 grams. And that would be a lot of stress off of your arm and your hand, because this does wear your strength out fairly quickly, unless you're resting on a surface like I am now. It's not too bad, but yeah, a little heavy. And with that, we'll end this little broadcast. As usual, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And thanks for watching. Bye.